So as you can see, I have an arrow here and these elliptical shapes that are forming almost what we would almost look like a little cup and saucer. So what we do there is, first of all, come in with our stroke in a comma stroke. The next stroke is another comma stroke. Now these strokes don't have to be really, really dark this time. So now I'm going to load again as I showed you before, and this time I'm going to place that down, pull in. Then I'm going to pull around, turn my easel here, and then press and pull out a little bit. We want these kind of curved strokes. We don't want just too many real straight strokes. Then pull there and back down. So this now almost helps you develop the outer area of that rose, the outer perimeter. So now we'll just go ahead and just fill this in, just like that. Now turn it back around. See how you can almost see a rose there already. Okay, now let's go over here and we're going to pull around, following the way the actual curvature of the bowl of the rose. So pull this around, keep pulling till you finally pull this in that method. So let's take this now and we'll pull in, but slightly pull in over the top of the actual bowl there. So now you can pull that in one, and then let's come back and get some more paint, two, and overlap the bowl, and a curved stroke, not a straight stroke. Take it and pull it again, pulling up and curving up. Now, then we go for another row of petals here. So we drop down a little bit here, one and two. Now I need to mature that stroke a little bit, so if I go back over it, so then we go to the third. Three. One, two, three. Okay, so up in this area, we're going to leave it in this position. And notice the arrow, you can still see that arrow. Now you're going to go cut, and you made a swirling cut. Okay, and you can push it right back. Okay, and then this might be easy for you too, is to even turn it upside down to cut. There's a cut. So now we're going to have those two. So then let's go for that little guy in the middle. Now we'll go over here and then we'll begin to cut up in this area here. So we'll make a cut and pull in. And so you'll notice that I'm cutting right about the area where that top of that circle is for those petals. And then I'm going to cut again and another little guy in the middle, right about there. Now we can start adding more of these cuts as we go. So now that we have that done, let's go down here and take and pull out this side. Let's take the brush, curve with that bowl. Curve it up, but now curve up just so far. Now the reason why I say just go so far is that where you're going to stop is you're going to have a nice area there for a cut and another little cut to show that that is going to be a strong petal area. Then we go from there, we go down here and move to the next area here, right about this area, cut, having this a little bit shorter there, and then pull out long. And then let's continue making that, and then take your plate, pull the plate around so that you can softly pull this edges of the petal towards the rose. And now you'll notice that you have down here a little shadow where you'd have a little cast shadow with the petals. All right, so then once we have done that, we turn this back around and continue cutting so that we can have some cuts over on this side. See, now you do the same thing, you just pull so that you have the little cast shadows right underneath the rose, and then we can take this cut and kind of swirl it out, and then that sets the posture for that petal there. And then we'll pull that in. So you can see how the rose is now coming alive there. All right, so now then, once we have all this done, we'll then move right on over and do the same thing to this flower here. But we do want to clean this out here a little bit because there's going to be a green leaf right here. So we want to make sure that's out at this fire. Okay, now just take this and pull in the curved stroke and making this look like a little leaf. Then you go in and go up here and make this stroke here, and this is going to go in and behind this petal, and then we have this over here, another leaf. I want to go in and I want to pick up the blue, the lightest blue that I have on my palette, and I'll go in between, make some curves. Now when you're putting this on, just put on some nice big strokes, and then you can always come back over those strokes and smooth them down, but just get this in there so we can have something to work with. Especially try to keep it so it's a little darker up close to the rose rather than away from the rose. Now once I've got that in, I can come in and wipe out some more with this little wipeout brush. I'm going to then take this and find my area here where I want to start my leaf. So let me just go and wipe that up. See how easy that does take that out. I kind of like this better than I do the little tool that you can use, the little rubber tool, because it doesn't leave quite such a buildup. So there's part of that leaf, and here's part of the other. So we're doing kind of a wipeout type of a lesson here. And if you get some blue into your green, it's not going to hurt anything, because you want to have harmony, and harmony is a lot of it is how much have you associated some of your other color into the color that you're using. So I'm going to wipe this out a little bit more. So I'll go back and get up some more of this chartreuse, and I'll lay this in. Now, because I want these to be maybe just a little cooler in some places, I'll pick up a little bit of the meadow green and pull that in. And then I'll just put some more of the chartreuse, but the meadow green has a little bit more of a cooler green to it. Notice that I'm not trying to create any a leaf that looks exactly too dark. I'm just setting in basic flat color for these, but with the flat color basically is set in a curving motion, the way that the leaf would actually want to face. Now let's start coming in here and working out and wiping out some of these little forget-me-nots. Now right here you've got 3, and so you could take your brush and you just pull towards the center. See how that is? I know that's a little small, but that, let's see here, I think I get another one in here, right like this. And then you don't have to do the whole thing. And then make sure that you dig out that little center in there. And then we have another Okay, now let's go to the second fire and take this a step further. Right here I have an area open that I've left open so that I can show you how I went ahead and put in some of these areas. You take that color and then just frame in around the area like this until you have a little shape of some of the shadow leaves. Just keep the same color. Now sometimes you have to turn your plate a certain way, so now we'll just put this color right in here and come down and back up this leaf on this side here. So I just pull this color in like this. Now I'd like to show you closely the little forget-me-nots. Let me show you right here. Right in here you'll notice that I have wiped these out, and then take your brush and go like this with this little pointer and then pull those out. Now you want to make sure that you place yellow. So I went ahead and placed yellow in already and then pulled it, but just pulled all these little shapes of the forget-me-not out. Now we're into our third fire, and we need to show you, I've not gone in ahead and painted a few places because of our time frame, and if you'll notice that I come in and set up some of the Copen Blue and American Beauty color, and I put the color in behind the flowers, but not very far up, just a little ways, and then let the rest of the area just play out. And then you'll want to start with the rose this time, and this, now you would come in and take the American Beauty and go into the center of the flower, the area right in here, making it somewhat darker. And then once you have this in, then you re-wipe out a few areas and separate these two areas here, and then also give it a center. And then you wipe out any areas that you want to have that you could paint back in. Okay, now we're at a fourth fire, and let me show you what I have done. And this looks a little darker now, right up in through here. And the reason that it does is because now I have taken a little of the flag blue, and I have come over the top of this right in here. Let's make it a little darker here. And then as we wash that in, you see it comes around and gives this a little more of a feeling of atmosphere going back into the area. And you could even get a little bit on the edge of the rose, and that makes it look like it's a little more attached. So each fire, you've noticed that we haven't done an awful lot after the second fire. These fires are just kind of coming in, adding little areas of depth. And if you feel that you want more depth in the flower in the center, then take your American Beauty with a touch of the dark brown and set that in right here in the center. And that will help bring even more depth if that is what you're after. But I wouldn't do it in only as the few really darkest places. So try and be to go and be a little sparingly with how much you do to any area during the third and the fourth fires, because this is where it gets overworked. Well, I hope you've enjoyed painting along with me, and I've enjoyed painting along with you. Thank you.